All right, so Brandon Staley, new Saints defensive coordinator, came in at 25th on Pro Football and Sports Networks, formerly PFN, Pro Football Network. Their all 32 rankings of all NFL defensive coordinators going into this season. This list also has defensive minded head coaches that are also defensive coordinators on this list. And Brandon Staley comes in at 25 on the list out of the 32 um, defensive coordinators on this list, listed on this list. And I'm just going to go ahead and just read the write up they put for why Staley's 25th on this list. A return to a defense coordinator role should be helpful for Brandon Staley. He's been through quite a lot that's hurt his stock around the NFL over the last few years. Staley was a fantastic defense coordinator for the Rams in 2020, but his tenure as head coach of the Chargers was extremely rocky. He spent 2024 as an assistant head coach for the 49ers when their defense plays just 26 and total defense. This defense coordinator gig with the Saints feels like his last chance to prove himself again. We'll see what he makes of it. All right, that's all they wrote for Brandon Staley. But I think the 25th ranking is justifiable. They're right about what they said on Staley. This could be, his last chance to show that he can be, to prove that he's a NFL head coaching material, and also make himself more marketable to get other jobs if possible. You know what I'm saying? But based on what I've gathered on Brandon Staley, and I think I've said this in the past, a lot of people are not high on him, not high on Brandon Staley as a defensive mind, and a lot of people, that he had that one good year with the Los Angeles Rams, where their defense was one of the best in the league, and a lot of people don't really give him credit because of that, because of that one year, and they kind of credit that year to having Aaron Donald on that defense, a few other good players on that defense. You also had at the time the Jalen Ramsey, who was now a Pittsburgh Steeler, but a while back when the Rams had their championship runs, the Jalen Ramsey was a part of the Los Angeles Rams. So a lot of people, a lot of analysts around the NFL are not that big on Brandon Staley as a upper tier play call on defense. And we all saw how things, spiral out of control with the LA Chargers, where he was big onto the analytics and looked like he was just trying to be the smartest guy in the room, and this going on, that going on, but got fired. Took a gig with the 49ers as an assistant. Defense wasn't any better with them. So, and they have really good players. They got Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. A few other good players on that team, but it didn't work out for them. You know what I'm saying? So could be his last shot. To prove that he is a really good defensive play caller, and he doesn't. To me, you go into this season, you don't really have a lot to work with. You got a secondary that may be that's an unproven secondary going into a new defense. Inheriting a older defense, especially on the defensive line. This defense was in a 4-3. For obviously the last decade or so. So, he doesn't have a whole lot to work with. But we'll see how it all play out this season. You got some youth in the secondary, but it's unproven. Kool-Aid, a lot of people have a lot of high expectations on Kool-Aid McKinstry because this could be his year to show that you know he can be an impact player for this team. Because, mind you, Um, Kellen Moore didn't draft these players. You know, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alontae Taylor, Rico Payton. They didn't draft these guys. So this is their year to show that, hey, I could be part of this team going forward. And the guys on the defensive line. We're gonna see how it all play out because, they're saying that guys like Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan have dropped weight, lost a lot of weight to prepare their bodies to play in a 3-4 defense. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it all play out with those guys because they're expected to be the edge rushers for the 3-4 defense. And they gotta have the linebackers, Demario Davis, Pete Warner, Danny Stotsman. We're gonna see how it all play out, man. But I think this 25th ranking for Brandon Staley is justifiable for given the circumstances right now. You know what I'm saying? So this is his chance. These next 2 seasons, he may only have 2 seasons to turn it around. Because I don't see if the Saints defense is bad this year, and they next year they give it another shot with more of Staley's players, and it don't work out. I could see Kellen Moore and Brandon Staley cutting ties. You know, so this could be his only shot. You know, but other than that, man, I think it's a solid list though. I think Dennis Allen, former Saints head coach, now with the Chicago Bears, running their defense. He's ranked 13th on the list of all 32 defensive coordinator rankings for this upcoming season. So there's that. But Brandon Staley at 25 comes in at 25 on this list of all 32 defensive coordinator rankings. So let me know what you guys think in your comment section below. Do you feel as though Brandon Staley, the 25th ranking that Pro Football and Sports Network placed on him is justifiable? And have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.